Self-trust is the foundation of a deeply fulfilling life. When we place our faith in random chance, we relinquish our power to something outside ourselves, something elusive and unpredictable. This reliance on luck fosters a passive attitude toward life, a state of waiting and wishing, rather than actively participating in our own growth and destiny. To believe in luck is to believe in something we cannot see or control. It creates a sense of longing for favorable conditions that may or may not ever come. Self-trust, on the other hand, is a radical act of claiming ownership of our lives. It asks us to turn inward, to recognize and cultivate the resources we already have within. Self-trust isn't about rigid self-confidence or assuming we have all the answers. It's about embracing our inner voice and allowing it to guide us. It's the assurance that we are capable of responding to whatever life brings our way, not because we can control the outcome, but because we can control our response. When we trust ourselves, we are empowered to act, adapt, and even to fail with grace, knowing that our worth is not tied to any single outcome or stroke of luck. Self-trust provides a sense of stability that luck never could. Life is inherently uncertain, full of highs and lows, moments of beauty and challenge. Luck leaves us at the mercy of external forces, making us feel as if we are constantly at the whims of circumstances. But self-trust roots us in a deep-seated confidence that transcends the randomness of life. We learn to rely on our own judgment, to trust in our resilience, and to lean into our capacity for growth. When we cultivate self-trust, we shift from a mindset of scarcity, hoping for something to tip the scales in our favor, to one of abundance, recognizing the wealth of resources within us. Trusting oneself means acknowledging and embracing imperfections, strengths, and even limitations as essential aspects of who we are. It means moving beyond the external, beyond the noise of societal expectations, to develop a personal compass. This compass guides us not by pointing us toward good luck or bad luck, but by orienting us toward our true potential, irrespective of the circumstances around us. Embracing the present moment is about letting go of the distractions that constantly pull us toward what could be, rather than what is. When we believe in luck, we project ourselves into an uncertain future, hoping that things will align in our favor. This mindset keeps us perpetually detached from the present, from the richness of what is right in front of us. The present moment is all we truly possess. It's the only place where life unfolds, where choices are made, and where experiences are felt. By anchoring ourselves in this moment, we stop the endless cycle of seeking fulfillment in something external and uncertain, and we start to cultivate a deep sense of contentment within. Living in the present is not about ignoring the future, but about recognizing that any real power we have resides here and now. It's here, in this moment, that we make decisions, that we express our values, and that we align our actions with our intentions. When we place our faith in luck, we remove ourselves from this moment and defer our power, effectively placing our happiness and fulfillment on a distant horizon that may or may not ever arrive. Embracing the present allows us to bring our full awareness and energy to what we can do, what we can create, and how we can grow right now. Being fully present also nurtures a sense of gratitude and appreciation for what is. Instead of focusing on what we lack or what we hope to gain through fortune, we can look at our lives with clarity, recognizing both our challenges and our blessings. This shift is transformative. It turns ordinary experiences into extraordinary moments, where we can find beauty, meaning, and connection in the seemingly mundane. Embracing the present moment invites us to slow down, to breathe, and to witness the intricacies of life as it unfolds. In the present, we also cultivate a kind of openness, a readiness to accept life as it is rather than as we think it should be. We shed the anxieties of the future and the regrets of the past, stepping fully into the here and now with acceptance and awareness. This practice is liberating. It frees us from the chase, from the need for things to be different than they are, and it allows us to be grounded, balanced, and truly alive. Embracing the present moment is a call to be mindful, to witness our experiences without judgment or attachment, to immerse ourselves in the ebb and flow of life without the constant pull of expectation or desire for a different outcome. The illusion of control is a comforting yet deceptive construct. Many of us cling to the belief that if we just try hard enough, if we predict and plan, we can steer the unpredictable tides of life. But this need for control is often a response to fear, a way to protect ourselves from the discomfort of uncertainty. Relying on luck is one facet of this desire for control. We hope that by aligning with something outside of ourselves, we can influence outcomes in our favor. Yet by placing our hopes in luck or attempting to control what we can't, we fall prey to a mirage, an illusion that pulls us further from the genuine power we hold. The truth is, much of life is beyond our control. Outcomes, circumstances, and the actions of others are often outside our influence. The beauty of life is in its inherent unpredictability, in the freedom and wonder of not knowing what lies ahead. When we acknowledge this lack of control, we don't become powerless, rather we find a new kind of strength. We become free to focus on what is within our reach, our reactions, our choices, our ability to adapt and grow. Letting go of the illusion of control allows us to shift our attention from trying to manipulate our surroundings to cultivating resilience and presence within ourselves. This recognition liberates us from a heavy burden. Trying to control everything is exhausting. It takes us away from being fully engaged in life. We become caught in a cycle of anticipation and anxiety, of constantly measuring and adjusting our efforts based on imagined outcomes. Yet life has its own rhythm, its own flow that unfolds whether we push against it or not. The more we resist this natural flow by holding on to the illusion of control, the more we disconnect from the present, from our own sense of peace and clarity. Releasing the need to control opens up a space for acceptance, where we can engage with life's challenges without the weight of expectation or disappointment. Furthermore, letting go of control fosters humility and deep respect for the complexity of life. We learn to approach life with curiosity rather than demands, recognizing that we are participants in something much larger than ourselves. Instead of seeing events as obstacles to our plans, we can begin to see them as opportunities for growth, as experiences that shape us in unexpected and meaningful ways. Embracing this perspective means surrendering to the natural course of things without trying to mold them to fit our own desires. In this surrender we find true freedom, a freedom that lies in adapting to life's unfolding rather than trying to manipulate it to match our expectations. Inner potential and resilience are the hidden forces within each of us, waiting to be tapped. Too often we overlook the vast reservoirs of strength and possibility we carry inside, dismissing our own capabilities in favor of external solutions, whether through luck or circumstances beyond our control. Yet our true power lies in recognizing that we are not at the mercy of life. We are active participants, capable of growth, transformation, and resilience in the face of even the most daunting challenges. Inner potential is not a static quality but a dynamic, evolving resource, one that expands and deepens as we confront adversity and push beyond our perceived limits. Resilience, in particular, is the art of bending without breaking, of facing life's inevitable obstacles and rising up stronger each time. It is not about avoiding difficulties but embracing them as essential parts of the journey. When we understand that our potential is continuously shaped by how we respond to the world around us, we begin to approach challenges not as setbacks but as stepping stones for growth. Each hardship becomes an opportunity to refine our character, to dig deeper into our reserves of strength and courage, and to discover new facets of ourselves that might otherwise remain dormant. By cultivating resilience, we access a kind of inner strength that doesn't rely on luck or circumstance, but is born from self-belief and adaptability. We come to realize that our potential is far greater than we might have imagined, that we are capable of navigating complexity and even thriving within it. In this sense, resilience becomes a key to unlocking our fullest potential, as each experience builds upon the last, each lesson learned adding to the richness of our character. Instead of hoping for favorable conditions, we learn to create our own foundation of stability, one that allows us to flourish regardless of external influences. Inner potential and resilience are also closely connected to our capacity for self-discovery and transformation. We each have within us unique talents, skills and insights waiting to be expressed, yet these qualities often remain hidden until we are tested. Adversity in this light becomes a catalyst, a means of revealing strengths we may not have known we possessed. Resilience encourages us to persevere through life's trials, not merely enduring them, but embracing them as part of a larger process of becoming. We begin to understand that every obstacle holds the potential for growth, that within every challenge lies an opportunity to expand our understanding of who we are and what we are capable of. Embracing our inner potential means trusting in the process of life, understanding that setbacks and failures are not barriers but invitations to dig deeper, to explore further, to unleash the latent abilities within us. It is a journey of continuous evolution, of allowing ourselves to step into the unknown with confidence, knowing that whatever we face, we have the resilience to adapt, to learn, and to emerge more fully ourselves. By focusing on these inner resources, we transcend the need for external validation or favorable conditions, becoming the architects of our own lives and discovering that true power lies not in luck, but in the enduring strength we carry within. Acceptance of the unknown is a profound act of courage, an acknowledgement that life, by its very nature, resists absolute understanding or predictability. Our desire to know and control the future is often rooted in the need for security, a way to shield ourselves from discomfort and risk. Yet the unknown is woven into the very fabric of existence. It's the source of both life's unpredictability and its wonder. To accept the unknown is to relinquish the illusion that we must have all the answers, that we must somehow be able to map out every step before taking it. It's an invitation to trust the unfolding of life without needing to impose our own rigid expectations on it. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or passivity. It's an active choice to engage with the mystery of life, to embrace the surprises, the turns we didn't anticipate, and the paths we couldn't see coming. When we accept the unknown, we allow ourselves to be open to experiences beyond what we've planned or predicted. This openness brings a certain lightness, a freedom from the weight of constant worry about outcomes. It enables us to approach each moment with a sense of curiosity, seeing what it has to teach us rather than fearing what it might bring. This acceptance fosters resilience by allowing us to flow with life's natural rhythms rather than resist them. We learn to see uncertainty not as a threat, but as an integral part of growth, an opportunity to adapt and evolve. Life becomes less about rigid goals and more about the journey, about the lessons and insights we gain along the way. Each step into the unknown, each experience that lies outside our control, is a chance to discover aspects of ourselves that we may not have encountered otherwise. It is a reminder that we are not static beings bound by fixed ideas or confined to one way of being. We are continually unfolding, constantly transformed by the experiences we allow ourselves to embrace. Accepting the unknown also strengthens our ability to let go of the need for instant answers and immediate gratification. In a world that often prizes certainty and clarity, choosing to live with questions rather than demanding immediate solutions can feel unsettling. even counterintuitive. Yet it is in this space of not knowing that true creativity, insight, and intuition are born. When we step back from the urge to control, we make room for possibilities we couldn't have conceived on our own. By embracing uncertainty, we tap into a deeper wisdom, one that trusts in the process of life itself. Furthermore, acceptance of the unknown teaches us humility, a recognition of the limits of our own perspective and knowledge. We begin to see ourselves as part of a larger, interconnected whole, one in which each moment is connected to countless others in ways we may never fully understand. This awareness fosters a sense of awe and gratitude, a willingness to appreciate the beauty and complexity of life without needing to master it. Instead of fearing what lies ahead, we learn to dance with it, to find joy in the unexpected, and to appreciate the richness that comes from not always knowing what's next. Active versus passive living is the difference between engaging with life intentionally or merely allowing it to happen around us. To live actively means to take ownership of our choices, to shape our days with purpose rather than letting them be shaped by chance. It's a commitment to live fully, not waiting for the right circumstances, but making the most of the ones we have. Active living involves a sense of agency, a willingness to direct our actions and our thoughts, to approach each day with a sense of intentionality and meaning. When we live actively, we move through life awake, aware and responsible for the reality we are creating. In contrast, passive living is marked by a kind of detachment or surrender of our personal power. It's a state of waiting for luck, for the right opportunity, or for others to make things happen on our behalf. This passive approach may feel comfortable or safe, but it ultimately keeps us on the sidelines of our own lives, watching events unfold rather than fully participating in them. When we live passively, we leave much of our happiness and fulfillment to chance, letting external circumstances dictate the quality of our experiences. We become reactive, shifting our responses based on the whims of our surroundings rather than steering the course of our lives with conviction and direction. Active living is fueled by self-awareness and a desire to grow. It involves constantly reflecting on our choices, values, and goals and aligning our actions accordingly. It's the practice of examining what we truly want and then taking steps toward it, rather than drifting along and hoping things will fall into place. Living actively means valuing our time, understanding that every moment presents an opportunity to learn, to connect, and to contribute in meaningful ways. Instead of waiting for things to get easier or more ideal, we embrace the process as it is, seeing every experience, positive or challenging, as part of the rich tapestry of a well-lived life. Choosing to live actively requires courage, as it often means stepping outside of comfort zones, taking risks, and confronting the unknown. It asks us to take responsibility for our own happiness, to see ourselves as the architects of our own lives rather than as passive observers. This shift brings a sense of empowerment. We realize that while we may not control every aspect of life, we have a profound ability to shape our path through the choices we make and the perspective we bring. Each decision becomes a deliberate act, a way of moving closer to our true selves and creating a life that reflects our deepest values and aspirations. Living actively also means being fully present, engaging deeply with the here and now rather than postponing fulfillment for some distant future. We stop waiting for the right time and start realizing that the present is the only time we truly have. In active living, we don't rely on luck or fate to create meaning. We create meaning ourselves through our actions, our relationships, and our commitment to living authentically. This approach cultivates a profound sense of purpose, as we are no longer at the mercy of circumstances but are empowered to build a life aligned with who we truly are. The power of self-responsibility lies in recognizing that we are the authors of our own lives, that our actions, choices, and attitudes are ours to direct. When we take responsibility for ourselves, we claim the ability to shape our experiences, to create meaning, and to influence our paths without relying on external forces like luck or circumstance. Self-responsibility is an empowering stance, one that allows us to stand firmly in our own integrity, understanding that while we cannot control everything that happens to us, we can always control how we respond. This awareness transforms our approach to life, making us active participants rather than passive observers, guiding our destiny with intention and clarity. At its core, self-responsibility is about ownership, owning our strengths and our flaws, our successes and our setbacks. It's the willingness to see ourselves honestly, to acknowledge the ways in which our choices contribute to our circumstances, and to learn from every experience. Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming ourselves for every challenge or difficulty. Rather, it's about cultivating the resilience to face life's complexities without shifting the burden onto others or the world around us. By accepting this personal accountability, we liberate ourselves from the limitations of victimhood, no longer at the mercy of forces outside our control, but capable of creating change from within. Self-responsibility also brings a profound sense of freedom, as we are no longer bound by the need for validation or approval from others. We learn to trust our own judgment, to make decisions based on our own values and desires rather than on expectations imposed from the outside. This shift allows us to live authentically, aligned with our true selves, fostering a sense of inner peace that comes from knowing we are acting in accordance with our beliefs. By being responsible for our own happiness, we recognize that fulfillment is not something we passively receive, but something we actively cultivate. Taking responsibility also involves accepting that growth is a continual process, one that requires humility, self-reflection, and a commitment to improvement. It asks us to look closely at our thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors, and to be willing to make changes when necessary. This process can be challenging, as it often involves confronting uncomfortable truths and letting go of limiting patterns. Yet, through this self-examination, we access the power to evolve, to become more intentional, adaptable, and capable of overcoming obstacles. Each step we take towards self-responsibility strengthens our ability to face life's challenges with confidence, knowing that we have the tools within ourselves to navigate whatever comes our way. Furthermore, self-responsibility nurtures our relationships, as it allows us to engage with others from a place of integrity and respect. When we take responsibility for our words and actions, we bring honesty and accountability to our connections with others, creating trust and mutual understanding. We no longer place the burden of our happiness on those around us. Instead, we approach relationships with a sense of wholeness, recognizing that our fulfillment comes from within. In this way, self-responsibility becomes a foundation for deeper, more meaningful interactions, as we share ourselves authentically without expectation or dependency. Gratitude and a growth mindset are powerful allies in creating a life rich with purpose, resilience, and fulfillment. Gratitude is more than simply being thankful. It's a way of seeing the world that recognizes and values the abundance present in each moment, regardless of circumstances. By focusing on what we have rather than on what we lack, gratitude opens our minds and hearts to the beauty and complexity of life as it is. It shifts our perspective from scarcity to abundance, helping us find meaning in both simple pleasures and profound challenges. This practice of gratitude brings a sense of contentment, a recognition that each experience, person, or opportunity has something valuable to offer if we are willing to see it. A growth mindset, in turn, complements gratitude by fostering a sense of curiosity and resilience. This mindset is grounded in the belief that we are not fixed in our abilities or knowledge, but can continually grow and improve through effort, learning, and adaptation. Rather than seeing setbacks as failures, a growth mindset views them as essential steps on the journey of self-discovery and personal evolution. Embracing this perspective means that every challenge, every unexpected turn, becomes a chance to deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. With a growth mindset, we see life not as a series of fixed outcomes, but as an ever-evolving process where each experience, whether success or struggle, holds the potential for growth. Gratitude and a growth mindset together create a foundation for resilience and inner peace. When we approach life with gratitude, we are less likely to get bogged down by disappointment or to feel that we are at the mercy of luck or chance. Gratitude reminds us that even in moments of difficulty, there is something to be learned, something to be appreciated. This positive outlook makes it easier to cultivate a growth mindset, as we are more inclined to see setbacks as temporary and valuable rather than as final or discouraging. Each challenge becomes a chance to apply gratitude, to recognize the learning hidden within it, and to move forward with renewed perspective and purpose. Freedom from the fear of failure is a liberating state that opens doors to growth, creativity, and self-expression. This freedom comes from realizing that failure is not a measure of our worth, but rather a natural part of learning and evolving. When we release the fear of failing, we no longer see mistakes as personal shortcomings or as proof of inadequacy. Instead, we see them as opportunities for insight and improvement. This shift in perspective allows us to approach life with a sense of curiosity and openness, willing to take risks, try new things, and explore paths we might otherwise avoid out of fear. Letting go of the fear of failure means embracing the idea that setbacks are temporary and valuable, each one teaching us something about ourselves, our strengths, and our areas for growth. It's an acknowledgement that success is rarely a straight line, but often a winding path filled with challenges that ultimately enrich our experience. By reframing failure as a stepping stone, rather than a stumbling block, we develop resilience, an ability to adapt, and a willingness to persist even when things don't go as planned. This resilience is empowering, reminding us that our worth is not dependent on any single outcome, but on our courage and commitment to keep moving forward. Living without the fear of failure encourages us to pursue our passions and goals with genuine enthusiasm, knowing that even if things don't turn out as we envisioned, we are still learning, expanding, and becoming more of who we are. This mindset frees us from the limitations of perfectionism, where the pressure to get things right can paralyze us and keep us from taking meaningful action. Instead of being confined by rigid expectations, we embrace the process, allowing ourselves to experiment, make mistakes, and grow with each experience. Free from the fear of failure, we engage with life fully, knowing that each attempt, regardless of outcome, contributes to our understanding and personal growth. Furthermore, freedom from this fear cultivates a sense of inner confidence and self-trust. When we are no longer afraid to fail, we become willing to trust our instincts, to take responsibility for our choices, and to learn from our experiences without self-judgment. This self-trust strengthens our resilience, giving us the assurance that no matter what challenges arise, we have the capacity to adapt and grow. We learn to trust not in a flawless outcome, but in our ability to handle whatever comes, turning each experience into a building block of personal wisdom and inner strength. Unity with the flow of life is a profound alignment with the natural rhythms and unfolding of existence. It is the act of surrendering rigid expectations and allowing ourselves to move with, rather than against, the current of life. When we are in harmony with this flow, we no longer feel the need to resist what comes our way or cling tightly to specific outcomes. Instead, we learn to trust in the natural course of events, embracing the idea that each experience, whether joyful or challenging, is part of a larger, interconnected whole. This sense of unity allows us to release the pressure of constant control, understanding that life often has a wisdom of its own that transcends our individual plans and desires. In this state of unity, we cultivate patience and presence, no longer rushing to the next moment or obsessing over past decisions. We learn to listen to the subtleties of life, to recognize the signs and signals that guide us along our journey, trusting that each step has meaning and purpose. By moving with life rather than struggling against it, we develop a deeper sense of ease and inner peace, knowing that we are exactly where we need to be, in the midst of exactly what we need to experience. This openness enables us to meet each moment with grace, adaptable and receptive, able to find fulfillment in the process itself, rather than waiting for a distant, imagined destination. Being in unity with the flow of life also means embracing change as a natural and necessary part of our journey. Life is ever changing, and each phase, each transition, is an invitation to grow, to let go of what no longer serves us, and to welcome the new with curiosity and acceptance. When we resist this flow, we create tension, seeking to impose a static image on a dynamic reality. But by uniting with life's flow, we learn to appreciate the beauty in impermanence, seeing change not as a loss, but as a transformation, a means of continually becoming. This unity brings a profound sense of freedom, as we no longer bind ourselves to fixed expectations or rigid definitions of success. We are liberated from the limitations of needing to know or control every outcome, and are instead free to explore, to experience, and to evolve naturally. This alignment allows us to live more authentically, guided by the quiet wisdom of life itself, and encourages us to see ourselves as part of a larger, interconnected tapestry of existence, where each moment flows seamlessly into the next, each experience adding to the richness of our path.